Today's video is going to be a little different in that it's not so much a painting tutorial, but just talking about how long it takes to paint these models and some things to think about as we try to work through like a large Kickstarter project like Joan of Arc or any large painting project. So as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm painting 18 models. They're basically the same. Some are halberds and some are bowmen, but pretty much just basic foot soldier here. So I've marked down like how long it took me to paint each step of the process. So here, just going through the metallics, it took me 17 minutes. And I want to talk about maybe some ways to speed this up now that I've done the project, and I may go back and find 18 similar models. I probably have some more halberds and crossbowmen in other boxes that I could paint, but there were some things that I thought I could do to speed things up. So now, painting the main cloth part, this was the longest part. The whole process took about 2 hours or so to paint 18 models, but this right here took, a quarter of my time just to paint. And I painted I painted a third of them red, a third green, and a third of them like a yellow type color. But what I was thinking was, after I primed them and I have them on, my painting sticks or whatever that I prime them on, that it may be, if you have an airbrush, it may be quicker just to go through and airbrush the cloth portions of the model. That would be quicker, and I think all the overspray from that would be easily covered up with the other opaque colors. I know the metallics would cover it up. It may be a little more difficult when we get to like the pants, which is a relatively small area, but it's a lighter color, an olive flesh or ivory color. So this really has me curious about how I could speed up the process. And then for the handles of the weapons and the bow, here is relatively quick, 9 minutes. The bowman may have been taking a little longer just because of each of the little sides and trying to get it, and then the shafts of the arrows that are on the side. Again, I can't really think of a way to speed this up. I could use less colors, but I didn't, I wanted to utilize different colors. So, like different browns here, just the boots and the belt, and another brown. The base, the ground is going to be a darker brown, so I wanted to differentiate that from the boots. But I also realized, I can just kind of slop this on because, again, another brown is going to go on the base. So I didn't feel like I needed to spend more time being more careful, but just get that brown color on there. Whenever thinking about your painting projects, think about the order that you should paint things. Here, just painting the lighter color on the pants, and I also painted a tan flesh color on the faces. For some of the miniatures had full armored helmets on, or helms, but the bowmen and some of the halberds had. Their face was exposed, and then of course the hand for the bowman is also, you can see right here. So this is just a small detail. Another color, just the sheath of the sword, black, and it took 2 minutes just to swipe through these. I believe some of the reason I'm efficient is I have each model on a separate holder. Some people like painting, having them all lined up on a stir stick, and I don't like that because I like being able to turn them whichever direction. So now the bases, coming towards the end of the project, this brown. I think, again, this is something that I could speed up by airbrushing, even on the smaller miniatures. Along with the cloth, while I have them still on the stir stick, I think I could paint all the bases, the brown, and then airbrush the cloth. And if there's any drastic overspray, I could always go back and just touch that up if necessary. Again, the bases after painting the brown, they do get a dark wash after they're completely dry, which is the next step. But I think I could save some time in using the airbrush for this, even though it's just a small area. But yeah, just again, when you have hundreds of models or dozens of models, saving a minute on each model, really adds up when you're trying to utilize or be the most efficient with your limited hobby time. All right, I'm showing here, as I always like to show, put a little bit of poster, putty, or dry tack, blue tack on your wash. Don't be one of those people that accidentally knocks over their bottle of wash over their project and wasting that. So I don't think there's really a great way to save time on this, especially on the base stands. Making a dip, meaning a large container, and then dunking or dipping the entire model in there, to me it's just the cleanup and the mess, because you still got to go back with a brush and wick away all the excess. To me it's more of a mess than a time saver. Again, 16 minutes on this wash process for the 18 models and the 6 base stands. I just think that was, time well spent, or, efficiently spent. And then dry brushing. Again, this was a really quick process that I think does add, to the aesthetics, the look. Going back, just spent 8 minutes because it's such a light dry brush. I think I did a little better job staying in the frame on these. That's why I cut over to it. But yeah, just something bringing out those high points. I didn't figure in the basing, getting ready material. I didn't time that. I already had that done on these models. I think that's something that you do. You just spend one day or several days getting bases ready with the texture. Maybe you can save some time in efficiency by spending a day just doing that, because you need to let it dry for a while after that anyways. So yeah, just going through, you're just touching these. And here's the finished models. Again, I feel I'm pretty efficient, but I would like to go back and maybe try some airbrushing on the cloth and such to see if I can save some time, maybe even on a larger batch job. If you have any ideas on how you like to save time in painting your models, especially for the Joan of Arc or any game, put them down in the comments. This is probably going to be my last video for a little while on Joan of Arc. I do want to do some other videos, and I also want to paint some of the larger models that came with the Joan of Arc, and those take a little more time to paint and of course edit. Thank you very much for watching my videos. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying painting your Joan of Arc, and as always, go out there and game and be kind.